YouTube, Cardfight Kick Your Aqua Life, baby. You already know. Oh my god. Sorry, I'm laughing. Facebook group chats. Anyways, so here to do a locals report. I meant to record matches today, but I had to charge my phone. Then I started picking up some Bermuda stuff and fixing up night rows and doing all this and that, and I just completely forgot about it. Then tournament started, and things happen. But I promise I'll do it next time. Sorry I forgot to record some fights and whatnot today. Anyways, for the locals report, I played Chaos Breaker again. I think this is my 5th straight tournament with him. I've been really feeling good about Chaos Breaker. Plus, my boy Anton showed up, so I wanted to get revenge on him for double healing on me. What was it, 2 Mondays ago, whatever it is. But yeah, feeling really good with Chaos Breaker. Love the deck. Love getting, getting back into it's just been amazing. I've been having a hell of a lot of success with the deck. I've topped every locals with it. I got 2nd place at ARG, and I won the DMV Dynasty Cup with Chaos Breaker. And so, I was like, if I'm going to play a competitive deck tonight, I think, Chaos Breaker. Right now, again, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm on a roll right now, and so, I look to keep that going, obviously. So, round 1 played against Blaster. He played the Alfred. She played Alfred with the Alfred Unlocking Stride. He showed that game 1 and put me in a bind, but he didn't have another one after his turn. I was able to survive that turn, go in, get some control back, and I don't think he had another one. Don't blame him. You rarely see Link Jokers, and he wanted spacing your G zone for other things. So don't blame him for only just running 2, because it's not every day you run to Link Jokers, right now. And I was able just to regain control and win the game 1. Game 2, he pressured the crap out of me. Turn 2, Young Wingle, Blaster Blade, Flogel, Lou, Wingle Break. I mean, it was just a crazy turn 2. Couldn't really block anything. Didn't see my grade 2s for a minute. That's just a big issue that I'm having in Chaos right now. It's just, and mostly it's just variance, but I'm having trouble just seeing my grade 2s. Early on, even pre-mulligan, post-mulligan, just I'll draw one to ride, but the other ones will just be stuck in my deck. So game 2, I ended up healing on 6. And being able to Soul Blast, kill some cards, draw again, and then just be able to regain control after hitting a heal on 6. So I was able to win that one. And then round 2, I played against a player who was on vacation from Las Vegas. Really pretty decent, pretty good. Play Prisms. I couldn't really have a lot of strong games against him. I had to G-assist both games, and against playing against Prisms, if you're stuck at 2 or whatever it is, it's not really good because, obviously, kind of like how I'm playing like a Limit Break type deck, he's playing a Limit Break type deck. So, both games he rode Princess Celtic. He was able to just draw, hit, draw. Especially if I was stuck on like a grade 1 or something like that, and he had some really good columns. Was able to use Liet, and he was playing Tiza as a starter. Both games pretty much went the same way. Really wasn't able to do too much, being grade stuck, and then not seeing my 2s to really lock up his front row. My 2s were generally close to the bottom of the deck, so really just didn't go well both games. So I lost that one, so it was 1-1, and then round 3. I played against the infamous Black Steve. He was playing Night Rose. Game 1, I was able to, I lost game 1, I believe. Yeah, I lost game 1. I messed up with guarding. I should have kept one of my interceptors so I could, because he, it was like his deck. He only had like 3 cards left in deck. He brought out Mick the Ghosty, because he didn't change his deck for the list yet, and he was able to, send them back. But during his Negro Rook turn, he had like a 73k Negro Rook because of the Negro Songer's ability and Mick the Ghosty. So if I had another Locus Karina, or if I had a rear guard to lock for Locus Karina, because I locked my previous rear guard with Maxwell, and that was a pretty. And then I double intercepted, and I shouldn't have double intercepted because I didn't think about that play that he was going to go for until afterwards, because you're able to discard with you discard with Songer, and then you can bring it out. So it was bad guarding on my part, which caused me to lose that game. Because I could have gone on a Locus Karina, locked one of my cards, locked his Mick, prevented Mick from going back into his deck. He would have only had 3 cards left in his deck and like 6 cards or whatever in hand, and then I would have been able to push and go into my GB8 and force a good portion of his hand down onto the board and hopefully get a pretty nice turn off. But I messed up with guarding. Then game two, I was able to win. I pretty much was able to get my GB8 off and force his hand down, and his deck count was already low, but he wasn't really able to guard it. And then game three was a really long game. It was a lot of back and forth. But I denied him counterblast early on game. He only had 1 counterblast. He couldn't do much. And he runs the Cray Elemental, but you have to have a face of Cray Elemental in your G zone for it to, for the Cray Elemental to really unlock. So pretty much I was able to, deny him counterblast. If forced him into a Sea Breeze turn, so you can have that, so he can try and use the rock. But I kept the rock Omega locked because I Locus Karina'd his back row so that he couldn't blow it up with Bone, and so Locus Karina'd that, and then I was able to Omega lock his unlocker, and that really, shifted, the game in my favor, being able to prevent him from doing that. And, deny him counterblast early on was a really good thing. Even though he did go into Dragoon and clear my board, I was able to just draw, off of certain things unlocking, get some advantage back, and continue to push. And then it got to the point where, I just, retired majority of his board. He didn't have a heal in hand, was able to drop the GB8 and secure the game. So I won that round 3, and then because apparently my boy Anton, who was undefeated, he lost in round 3, but because he lost, I decided to just cut at round 3. I still probably need a more clear explanation, because I thought we were going to have 4 rounds, but we only had 3. So we ended up cutting, and top 4, we played out top 4 actually. So top 4 played against the Blaster player, played round 1, was able to win that matchup 2-0 still. I believe both games, the early game pressure was just for both times, but game 1, I pretty much was just still able to control the board. He didn't ride into Alfred, he rode into Exceed, and I was just able to control the board and went from that point on. I think he misstrode and strode into Alfred Saver for his first stride. I believe it was on accident. And then game two, I was able to control the board a little bit because he rushed, and I blocked a little bit, then I was able to call stuff down because I have grade 2s. But I left my Limb Breaking Neighbor on board. I was at 3 damage, but he had Exceed, dropped an Exceed, killed my grade 1, and so I pretty much had to take some damage. I was at 5 damage for a majority of the game, but was able to still just regain control because I had enough damage to give and lock up his board, draw some cards. It was really it was pretty ugly in a sense, but I made it up. Was able to eventually go into my GB8 and win the game there. No. I just went to Big Cruncher one because he didn't really have too much. He couldn't stride for 1 turn. Or 1 turn or 2, and it really helped me get back into the game more or less. Then in finals, I played against Another friend of mine, he was playing, I think it was 16 crit Sanctuary Guard Dragon. Game one, I was able to, more or less control it, take damage when I needed. I had my perfect guards, so I was definitely able to perfect guard a bunch. And secure victory. I double crit him at 3, and he plays 16 crits, so that was a game there. No chance to heal. Game two, his early game was too strong, and I couldn't guard. I had 4 grade 3s in my hand, 1 grade 2 to Rye. It was just really bad from the get go. In terms of Royal Paladins being able to rush, and Link Jokers, kind of like waiting in a sense, and so I was just out of it from then. And then game three was just ugly. I think he had to ride exceed. He couldn't stride. I strode, I won on universe twice. I just universe twice. My second universe, I was able to crit him while he was at 4 damage. But I was like struggling for soul in a bit because I had to ride Zinc. I damaged the Zinc. I needed to find other Zinc, but I couldn't find Colony Maker to get my Zinc because I needed my Limb Break Enabler with Carbon. And it was just it was just a really ugly game. But through Chaos Breakers, control methods, I was able to shut down a portion of his offense and, push back, with what I could make of mine. They made some ugly comments, but, it worked to push. So I ended up winning first place overall. I got the 2017 Speaker, but I have much Speaker, so I sold it, so whatever. So yeah, Chaos Breaker did really well again today. Second first place finish in a row. Very proud of the deck. And again, as always, looking to continue with some future success with the deck. So yeah, that's the tournament report, guys. Again, sorry for not recording matches. I will get that the next time, I promise. And yeah, Cardfight King, Aqua Life, baby. You already know how it is. Now, I know I haven't played Davis or Blue Waves or Aquaforce in a while. I told you guys that during some of the Night Rose videos. Right now the deck is in limbo in a sense, especially against like a lot of the better decks. I was testing it earlier. I was actually testing it at locals, and if you're not getting your pieces, it's just a very ugly uphill climb. And when you do get it, some things go good, but sometimes it's just other way it is. So I'm still figuring some things out with Aquaforce, still seeing things, but as of right now, Chaos is my Chaos between Chaos and Night Rose are generally my competitive decks that I will look to go to first right now. Thavis is obviously still in the lineup, but he needs to hit the weight room a little bit more, drink some more, get some more milk, right now. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys later on this week. All right, Cardfight King out. Peace.